Hey guys, how's it going? Been a little while since I made a video, just took the summer off really, going to be starting to make some videos now. Whilst I was sort of taking some time away, I sort of listened to some clients and kept an eye out for things that I was being asked a lot about. And I was being asked a lot about, or I noticed that a big concern with a lot of my clients was that fringes and bangs, if you want to call them bangs, but fringes, and either a reluctance to have a fringe cut because the inevitability that one day they're going to have to grow it out and they're not going to know what to do with it, or they have a fringe and they're trying to grow it out and they don't know what to do with it. So what I thought I'd do is just make a quick video today, show you some ideas, 3 or 4 ideas, what you can do with a fringe that's grown out. So I've got this lovely lady here. She's going to be stepping in as a model today. I've cut a fringe that's quite long and in that kind of annoying growing out stage, and we're just going to be styling that. Tools you're going to need for the various things. I'm going to use a pair of straighteners today. I'm going to use a blow dryer. I'm going to use a round brush. And apart from that, I'm going to use possibly a little rubber band. You can get those in like packs of 100 from like any kind of drugstore. Like Superdrug does like thousands for like 99p, and some bobby pins. And same there, you know, everyone knows you can get bobby pins just about any accessory shop or drugstore. So that's going to be it really. And so I'm going to show you 3 or 4 ways. So let's crack on with that now. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is going to just be centre parted, and this really works best. She doesn't have layers in her hair, this block. It really works best if you've got layers. You don't need to have them. If you have layers in your hair, this works really well. And what we're going to do is we're just going to centre part it, and then we're going to blow dry it back. But I'll show you now. Okay, so to start, we just want to get our fringe section and just remove the other hair from it, and then get it a little bit damp. Focus on the roots really. It's the main area we want to get damp. Now, you don't need to get it soaking wet. Literally, I'd use the spray bottle, but another way you could do it if you haven't got a spray bottle is just get your hand a bit wet and just run it through it, just make it a little bit damp. That's all you need to do. And then we're going to centre part that, so your fringe is parted in the centre. And now all we're going to do is we're going to use a round brush, and we're going to just dry it to one side. You can do this with a straightening iron, and I'll show you that afterwards. But I'm going to do it with a round brush first because I think it's probably the kind of better way of doing it. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it with a round brush first of all. So yeah, do that now. I need to use the dryer, so it's going to be a little bit noisy for a second. Okay, so we can see there we've blow dried the fringe away from the face, and essentially it's a bit hot still, so it's kind of falling out. And then what we're doing is pulling it away from the face and curling it slightly backwards, or waving it slightly backwards. And now the idea there is that with straight hair it's fine, and you've got a kind of loose kind of 60s grungy kind of vibe going on. But if you've got layers, that line will continue into your layers. So you're connecting your fringe into your layers, or it's not going to connect perfectly probably, but it's going to at least look intentional, because say as you'll have a line that will come down from your layers, and it will come straight into your layering, and it will essentially hide the fringe, and make the fringe look like a kind of continuation from your layering. Now, the way to dry that is you put the brush into the fringe, and then, I'm just trying to do it quickly, but making a right mess of it. But if you put the brush into the fringe and then pull away from the face like this, and then what we're doing here is we're pulling this root up away from the face so it won't fall into your face too much. And then as we go, we're just curling it round like that. And then that's just giving it a subtle curl, and a subtle kind of bevel backwards, and then you're pulling the fringe away from the face and just curling it round like this kind of action, and then that will just place the hair so nicely away from the face and give you this kind of subtle kind of graduation into your layering. If you don't have layering, so she doesn't have layering, it's not a problem. If you've got layering, it's going to look a lot more connected, but if you don't, it's not really a problem. Now, the other way of doing that is using the straightening iron rather than blow drying. I would recommend blow drying, to be honest, but you can use a straightening iron. So I'll show you how to do that with a straightening iron now. Okay, so this is going to be kind of similar as to the way we did with the brush, but doing it with a pair of straightening irons. Place a comb in the fringe, and then as we drag we're going to take the irons through the hair, but as we do it, we want to just curl them in a kind of C-section away from the face and back around the side of the head. A C-section, a C sort of shape. If you watch, you'll see how I'm saying. So as we come around, we're just kind of taking those in a kind of C-section, a kind of semicircle. And then that's just kind of giving this kick. Say I don't really want to get my hands in the way of the camera, so it's quite awkward. But as you can see, it's just giving it that kick backwards there. It's pulled it up away from the face and giving it a kick backwards. And that's exactly the same idea as with the fringe. It's preference. If you prefer working with an iron, it's a bit faster. You can do it with dry hair rather than starting with wet hair or damp hair, as we did with the dryer. Depending on the brush you use, you're going to get a harsher or a less harsh wave. I used a brush that isn't really great for that, so the wave is not so strong. But as you can see with the iron, it's giving it a good sort of kick away. And they're the differences really between the two. You got with the iron, it's much stronger. So the brush I used was quite a loose kind of curl. But essentially, that's one way of kind of styling your fringe. If you've got layers, this integrates it very well into the layering, and that's just say this side with the brush, that side with the irons. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is side parting, and we're going to essentially hide the fringe with this. And now there's two ways of doing this. You can do it with wavy hair, or you can do it with straight hair. I'm probably going to do it with straight hair, but I'll explain about the wavy hair and the benefit as well. So that's what we're going to have a crack on next. Okay, so working with side parting, again, just damp it down again, slightly at the roots, get it slightly wet, and then we're going to be working with the brush. You can, again, do this with a pair of irons in exactly the same way as we just showed in the last one. I'm going to use a brush, but I'll show you how we're doing here. And then all we're going to do is exactly the same. We want to curl the fringe. Doesn't have to be away from the face so much this time, but we want to curl it back around and give it a kind of nice tight side parting here. And say we're doing the water, so we're going to set the parting in so it won't kind of flop out during the day. But yeah, we're essentially drying it back into the side. So okay, in that motion, all we're doing is we're just rolling placing the brush into the fringe as close to the base as possible, and then we're just rolling the brush essentially around the side of the head, just pulling it quite tight, but just rolling it around the head, and that's just going to help to kind of set this part in. Okay, now it's dry. So what we want to do here is we're going to hide it with a bobby pin. Now this is really simple. So we take a section in the front, we leave some, if I turn it slightly this way, hopefully you'll be able to see better. We're going to leave some in the front there, about 1 centimetre in the front there. So we have this kind of section here. And then under this section here, we're just going to hide the fringe by moving it over and then pinning it up. one tip here is when you place the bobby pin, you don't want to just pull the fringe tight. I mean, if you want that kind of librarian look, throwing pins everywhere. If you want that kind of librarian look, you can pull it tight. But what I do is essentially you bring it in and you pinch it at the end, and then you put it to where you want it, and then just loosen it, push it forward just a touch, and that will just loosen up the fringe a little bit at the front, so we won't get that kind of tight, I don't know, I said librarian look, but I think it's that kind of tight, very formal look. If that's what you're going for, just pull the fringe tight. If that's not what you're going for, yeah, just push it forward just slightly with your fingers, and then you can let that side down, and then we can arrange the fringe, move the pin around, push it forward a little bit more, and then you have that kind of hidden. Probably the section here is a little bit too much. Just sort of place it with your fingers so that it kind of smoothly goes to this sort of effect, so you haven't got that kind of sharp divide between the two areas, and then you have that kind of side parted, pinned up kind of fringe. So I think probably I've left her a little bit too much in the front here. Now her hair's very straight, so it's quite obvious that she's pinned it up. Now, one way you can do this to make it look less obvious, and if you like waving your hair, this is ideal. If you have a wave the fringe, if you do it with a pair of straighteners, and you wave the side, and then you can integrate the wave from the fringe into the side, and then you almost don't recognise. See, this is very straight, it's that kind of librarian look almost. But if you've got a wave going, then it just kind of waves gently into each other, and you don't have that quite so structured formal look. What I might do is just wave that now and then just show you the result. I don't think you need to see me waving it, or I could speed up the video perhaps. Perhaps I'll just speed the video up. You can kind of see what's happening here. You have the kind of loose wave, and I kind of loosely waved the fringe, and then you get that kind of connection between the waves, and then it kind of becomes a little bit looser. One other style you can do is just whack it into a quiff, and we're going to do that now. This is really beneficial if you don't have a parting, or you don't particularly want a big bold parting in the front. You can just smash it up. It's really casual, and I think quiff pretty much never goes out of fashion, so yeah, we're going to show you that now. Okay, and so the third one is the kind of a quiff. If you don't really want a parting so much, you can use a quiff. It's incredibly easy, don't need to worry about too much about brushing. What you can do is you can brush it back, and that will give you some root lift. Probably don't need to, but basically just take a triangle section, so you've got your fringe, only your fringe, and then get it towards the end, take out the long section parts, get it towards the end and pinch it with your fingers, like that, so you've got it just pinched in your fingers, and then just place it where you want it, essentially. If you want it, she's got quite a small fringe really, but yeah, if you want it on the side, just like that, such sort of thing, just place it where you want it, and then on the pinch, just add a bobby pin with a half up, half down. You want to take a side section, like so coming diagonally down. So you have this section here, and then place this hair up into the back, and then do the same on the other side, and then you have this kind of half up, half down. And then one way of doing this a bit more fancier, if you want, is you divide it into two, and then give it just a couple of twists like that, and then pin it here. This is all very rushed, and then same again on this side, just give it a couple of twists and then give it a pin. with the extra hair on the end, you can work out what you want to do, because you'll have obviously these areas here that have been after the pin. Now you can either put them in a ponytail, you can curl them into a bun, or you can just leave them loose and let them hang, or you can curl them up, pin them up, put them into a kind of half up, half down kind of updo. In a sense, you can say just do little kind of finger barrel curls and just pin them in, things like that. But essentially, that would be another way of getting rid of a fringe by, say, putting it into a quiff, and then if you wanted to, go for a half up, half down kind of thing. The last one I'm going to show you now is just a side parted braid. This is kind of a bit more snazz, it's maybe a little bit sort of situational, but yeah, I'm just going to show you how to braid your fringe into a kind of side part and integrate it with the rest of the hair so that it looks seamless and essentially doesn't look like you've got a fringe at all. Okay, and the last way I'm going to show you is a braid. This is very similar to the second one where we essentially hid it. So we take a section in the side, leave after the fringe, we just leave a little bit that we're going to braid into, and then take this section back here. Just give that a quick pin, just to pin it up out of our way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to braid the fringe into the long hair in the front, and we're going to do it so that it's more or less seamless, so that the fringe will just look long, because we'll be using the long hair as a continuation and bringing it into the braid itself. Now my braids are awful and very messy, so you can all look and laugh whilst I attempt to braid hair, because I really am not much of a braider, not much of a hair up guy at all, to be honest. I'm much more of a cutter, and my braids are a shambles. And then you can pin that up, or you can use a band. It's up to you if you want to use a pin or a band. If you make it really long, you can use a rubber band, but I'm just going to pin it into the side there. And then we take down our section that covers that joining section, and we have it just kind of integrates in. Now my braiding technique is awful, my braids are shambles, but you can see the idea where we've pulled the fringe into integrated it with the longer hair, and then you can't tell the difference. I mean, this is bad braid, but still you can't tell the difference between the short hair and the longer hair at all. It just kind of falls into one. And I mean, she may as well not have a fringe there. So apologies for my braiding technique, it's rubbish. Okay, and that's kind of 4 ways of just getting rid of your fringe and just kind of covering it up if you don't really, if you're trying to grow it out and it's stressing you out. I hope it helps. If you've got any suggestions for more videos, let me know. If you've got any questions, let me know. Comment below. I've got a blog at lemonsodahair.com, and you can put a comment on there, or you can find my email on there. I've also got Twitter at lemonsodahair. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. My subscriptions are coming along really well, and I've far surpassed what I ever imagined I'd get. But the more the merrier. So yeah, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Cheers.